Good evening and welcome to a sun-swept Kings Meadow, a bank holiday weekend starting in the perfect setting here. So for some PL2 football, the final fixture of Chelsea's PL2 campaign this evening. Slightly delayed kick-off to 7:15 this evening, so thank you very much for joining us. Whatever your plans are tonight, this is absolutely the place to be as Chelsea take on Brighton and Hove Albion. I'm delighted to say that I'm in the company once again of Tommy Langley. Tommy, lovely to see you, mate. How are you?
Joe? Yeah, very well. Well, I was when I left you the other night, disappointed we got beat by Spurs, and then came here Wednesday night, got disappointed again. So let's hope tonight we're laughing on the way home, not crying. Absolutely.
I don't think it's any coincidence you brought the sunny weather with you as well, Tommy. I don't think that's absolutely no coincidence at all.
Part of the remit, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, absolutely. A good Chelsea side as well that are involved this evening. Again, an opportunity we spoke of before and after that Spurs game, and again midweek at Chelsea against Brentford in the first team. An opportunity now for the rest of the season, and a final opportunity really for the squad that are involved in the PL2, being their final league fixture of the year, to make an impression and kind of make their mark, because again, you know, it's a well-trodden saying, but you never know who's watching.
No, exactly. Look, you know, I'm sure Frank will have eyes on this. He's got more eyes perhaps on Tuesday night than tonight, but he'll want to see the boys performing. Mark Robinson said to me this morning it's the last chance they've got to impress the coaches that will be there next year and the coaches that are coming in. And you want to end the season on a high. You want to end it as a team, winning a football match, but individually you want to go into next pre-season full of confidence that I've ended the season really well, let me kick on next year. It's all about progression, it's all about learning your trade, and Robbo's doing a really good job doing that. And as I said, they were disappointed with themselves Monday night, as we both were as commentators, and let's hope they can get it right tonight.
Absolutely right. Yeah, I think we both said during the game on Monday night, large spells of possession, large spells where Chelsea were the better team, but unfortunately when you lose a London derby to Tottenham, it's difficult to come over. But this is why football's such a brilliant sport. 3 days on, you've got an opportunity to react.
Yeah, you can put the wrong right, and as I said, no better way to end the season at home against Brighton, and let's get the 3 points on the board and see. I don't know how Palace have gotten in their spare games. They did have a game in hand, but Chelsea had a chance of finishing second, but I think that's probably gone by the wind now.
Plenty of opportunities on and off the pitch for these players, no doubt, in the summer coming as well. You know, you play well tonight, you've impressed, you might get a nod for the pre-season, or the additional sort of lure is loan deals for next season. You know, there could be teams that are watching thinking, I need a player exactly like that, and that's the next level of progression for them. So you've always got that. You've always got that opportunity, and again, plenty of these players have had league experience or a due league experience, or have played at a higher level, tasted a little bit the first team. So there's always that caveat to all of this.
Yeah, very much so. And you know, there's not a great crowd here tonight, but I'm telling you, there'll be 40, 50 scouts from different clubs here, looking at the potential of taking 1 or 2 of these on loan next year. And so there is something else to be played for as well. And we made the point, you know, that confidence you get from going out on loan and learning your trade in the lower divisions is crucial to these boys. And there will be a lot of these 11 starting tonight that end up next year in the Championship or Division 1 learning their trade.
Absolutely. Alfie Gilchrist, you can see captain in the team tonight, and Gagala Stonina immediately behind him, a player that we know has already had a huge amount of experience playing in MLS and came over at the turn of the year and has made a big impression ever since. There's lots of players within this group that many expect to go on and compete for first team positions and squad opportunities next season. Let's have a little look at the team that Mark Robinson has selected for tonight. We mentioned Slonina in goal, a back 3 of Brodie Hughes, Alfie Gilchrist the captain, and Zach Sturge, of course, formerly of Brighton and Hove Albion, Dylan Williams on the left hand side, Dion Rankin on the right, Charlie Webster, Ben Elliott in the middle, Mason Burstow leading the line with Leo Castledine and Harvey Vale as the 2 10s behind. Options from the bench as well, including Donnell McNeely and Brian Fiobema as well, a player that's had plenty of league experience even this season out on loan at Forest Green a little bit earlier on. As for Brighton and Hove Albion, a few players to keep an eye on. Cameron Perpignan is number 7. He's a player that's scored the highest goal scorer for them so far this season, 8 goals in PL2. Andy Moran as a centre forward, and a number 10 in Jack Hinshelwood, who I know that you're going to keep an eye on this evening.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe I heard earlier that Jack is the grandson of a guy called Paul Hinshelwood, who I played with at Crystal Palace, and unfortunately Paul died last January of cancer. But it's great to see Jack playing, his grandson out there today. And I spoke to his great uncle tonight, who tells me if he plays in the first team, it'll be 4 generations of Hinshewoods would have made their livelihood in there. And that's Wally the dad, Martin and Paul, and then Adam, one of the sons, and now obviously Jack. So they're a very proud family this evening.
Absolutely right, and so they should be. Incredible. And in fact, Jack Hinshelwood has only played, I mean, he's the second highest minutes maker for Brighton in PL2 so far this season. He's had a very productive season, 3 goals, 4 assists as well, 22 times he's started, so he's been almost an ever-present. So clearly very, very highly thought of at Brighton. And for your sake and everyone listening, I hope he has a good game, but not too good a game.
Yeah, exactly. I said all the best, but I don't. Let's hope he's on the losing side tonight.
Absolutely right. Chelsea about to get underway then, with Ben Elliott preparing to take the centre kick to kick us off this evening. He had a fantastic game as well, as he has done very, very often in more recent memory as Ben Elliott. Been one of those players I think that hasn't quite got the credit he deserves because of the other players that are around him, but technically brilliant, always gives everything, and a player that no doubt, Tommy, like all of these, will go on to have a great career.
I think so, and I have to say, I thought the other night him and Charlie Webster were the best 2 midfield players on show. Unfortunately, as we said earlier, they end up on the losing side.
Absolutely right. Good start from Chelsea. They were thumped forward by Brody Hughes, looking for Dylan Williams early on, but opportunity now for Zach Sturge against his former team to make his presence felt. Unfortunately, it won't be the start that he'd have hoped for on that occasion, but plenty of opportunities, and again, we keep coming back to it, we keep talking about that, but you look at that front three of Harvey Vale, Leo Castledine and Mason Burstow, 3 players that, if you're ever going to use the analogy of too good for this level, it very much feels like those 3 are.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can see them going, as I said, next year, going out and really proving a point, and coming back the season after and challenging for first team, because they're full of talent.
Clip ball over the top, looking for an opportunity for Papillon for his first opportunity on the ball. He's lashed it across goal, and it's actually going to go out for a throw-in on this far side, which Dion Rankin's going to leave to Brody Hughes to trot over and take it. Who's, in terms of the standout then, Tommy, because obviously there's a lot of players that we look at, and we saw them earlier on in the week. Dylan Williams come off the bench and scored a good goal and was very heavily involved. Harvey Vale was the one that you always look to in terms of a little bit of brilliance. Yeah. I thought Mason Burstow was excellent Monday night as well. So who's the one for you tonight that perhaps not needs a performance, but you're expecting to see something from? Well,
I thought Castledine was fantastic the other night in stages. I'd like to see a 90-minute performance of that, but on the ball he's electric. He loves to run at people. He's a couple of shots on the edge of the box there that hit the target, and obviously the other one was Burstow, because he outside the box I thought he was fantastic again. The shot that hit the bar in the first half against Spurs was electric. My one criticism was that he wasn't getting in the box and busting a gut to get in there. There was 3 or 4 world-class crosses we saw, and he didn't get on the end of them. But he'll learn that, and that's what this is about, learning your trade. And these guys excite me because there's plenty about them. As I said, Castledine in particular for me, in that number 10 role, he loves a trick, but he's dynamic and he loves to run at people, which excites people.
Absolutely right. I think every Chelsea fan at the moment is craving that, aren't they? Craving that little gem, that little piece of magic, that little bit of excitement throughout the age groups, and obviously into the first team as well. And he's certainly got that. He's got that little bit of star quality about him. A number of players on show have tonight, but unfortunately, so far, we are yet to see Chelsea make a break for this evening. Perhaps a little bit presumptuous, 2.5 minutes in, looking for a little bit much. But I want excitement tonight, Tommy, and I think this group are definitely going to give us a game to look forward to, because it hasn't got anything of the end of season feel about it. And I think that's the best way to be the final game of the season, with realistically nothing still to play for either, but both have started with a good anticipation, good intensity to the game as well. Yeah, I mean, you're playing for personal pride. There's no medals at the end of this game. It's just a 3 points, and a smile on your face, and you're going to the next pre-season full of confidence. And this is about personality and making sure you get the job done. And listen, the other thing is, we're talking about players. Mark Robinson doesn't want to go into the end of the season on the back of 4 defeats and a draw in the last 4 games. That's not what he wants as a coach. So again, from his own point of view, he'll want to see a performance tonight. Absolutely right. Brighton's still got a game to play after this. In fact, they play Fulham in a few days, which is a big opportunity for them to try and progress on. And again, if you get a scalp like beating Chelsea, penultimate game of the season, that's a big one. So Chelsea have got that to be lively about, and also the fact that the first team turned up to Stamford Bridge and rolled them over a little while ago. So there's a little bit of personal pride in that. But here is Leo Castledine. It's a point towards the ball from Jack Hinchy, but nowhere near it there, really. It's a good opportunity, though, for Leo Castledine. Or Harvey Vale will be interested, as will Charlie Webster. I saw Leo Castledine score a goal from a similar position, maybe a little bit, sort of 10 yards infield, against Dinamo Zagreb in the UEFA Youth League before the winter break, as it were. And perhaps maybe favours the left foot a little bit more here.
Yeah,
Tommy?
I would think Harvey Vale will pull rank here, and it definitely does favour the left foot. But again, that's Leo Castledine running a defender, creating problems on the edge of the box, and we don't see enough of that. And as you said, it was definitely a foul by Hinchy.
Good opportunity, yeah. Harvey Vale with very pronounced step backs after addressing the ball, but Charlie Webster as well, just to keep the wall honest maybe, and his eyes very much set on the players that have come forward from the back, and Mason Burstow's obviously a physical presence in there, but it will be Harvey Vale. Caught it beautifully, but just a little bit too much on the free kick.
Yeah, it's one of them is actually probably too close, and he tried to get a bit of waz on it, a bit of dip on it, and he did, but not enough to test the goalkeeper, but he was scrambling across his line there. I have to say, I didn't fancy the wall, because the wall didn't look the bravest there. There's one or two turning their back. But we saw to our cost at Spurs the other night, don't turn your back, because it ends up in the back of the net.
Absolutely right, absolutely right. It was around about this time that Lucas Moore broke the deadlock, in fact, wasn't it? It's a big towering header from Zach Sturge as well. He's come flying through and won everything off the ball. And again, we speak about a player perhaps needing, perhaps wanting a little bit more this evening. He certainly will not need any extra motivation, being a former Brighton Hove Albion player himself.
Yeah, I think he made his presence felt, as you say there, and hello mate, here I am, do you remember me? And yeah, was very aggressive but fair in his climb.
Had a good season as well, Zach Sturge, and one of those players where, again, I think there's a few that have kind of gone under the radar, have had good periods and good seasons, and especially a player that's settled into the group and has played middle of the back three, played on the left, he's played left full back, left wing back as well. He's shown his versatility and very, very accomplished and very good footballer on the ball as well, which I think now is almost a given as a centre-half, but it's still quite a new addition, isn't it, really? I
totally agree. I think if you can't come out with the ball and play, you're not going to have a career, certainly in the higher divisions. It's paramount that you can do that, and you know, I've seen the youth team do the same thing recently, and Billy G and all them sort of guys, they're very comfortable coming out with the ball, and these boys here are the same.
Absolute opportunity now for Brighton to try and build something from this right-hand side into Hinchy. Sweeps the ball over to Rory McConville. Samuels uses Moran as the overlap. Well defended though by Brody Hughes and Dion Rankin. Rankin taking no chances on the second attempt though, and perhaps Mason Burstow really nipping in there. All the way back to the goalkeeper in Cahill. A good opening to the game for both teams. I suppose it'll be a case of being patient as well this evening. Like we mentioned, there's obviously, in terms of, you know, the addition of nothing additionally on this game other than, like you said, personal pride and wanting a performance and that anticipation from the manager to want to break a poor run, which probably his team and his performances haven't deserved, but a good start to the game from both teams. Yeah,
there's plenty of pace in it, endeavour, honesty. You know, got a foul on the edge of the box, which would give us an opportunity to have a strike at goal. But yeah, I mean, as I said, it's been played at a frenetic pace. Some of the passing leaves a little bit to be desired, but that will settle down in the next 5 or 6 minutes and people will get into their style of play. But I think Chelsea's having slightly the better of it. I think in midfield, Webster and Elliott are getting on the ball, but as of yet, no real clear-cut chances.
Trying to be taken by Brody Hughes and loops one over to Zach Sturge. Now to Dylan Williams, who scored the first of those consolation goals against Spurs on Monday night. Now Vale. Early wet in delivery. That's what you get from Harvey Vale. We spoke about it, didn't we? He just wanted to get it out of his feet and get it across, and he's started this game in the same vein as he did on Monday night. Here's Dion Rankin. Leo Castledine. It's a good block, in fact, tracking back Luca Barrington, and it'll be a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, it was a great ball in from Harvey Vale. Williams made a great run, knocked it, and then took the other defender away with the run in the box. But Harvey Vale, one fault in his mind, got it across. Burstow actually made the run into the near post there, but the ball was just slightly behind him, misplaced the touch, chance went missing. But that was better, good ball into the box.
To throw in instead of a corner, actually right down in that corner. It bounced the wrong side of the flag from a Chelsea perspective, but Brighton unable to get out fully. Dylan Williams going to reload for Chelsea quickly. Here's Zach Sturge. Chris doesn't want any of it, steps away and leaves it to Slonina. Lovely clip round the corner, looking for between Ben Elliott and Mason Burstow into a good area, but neither able to get anything on that.
Well, I thought it was a great ball, but neither Chelsea player made a run, and that it made the ball look not very good, but it was into a nice area, which if someone had shown a bit of commitment, could have got on the end of it. Great ball.
Good play there from Brody Hughes. Now Harvey Vale. It's got Dylan Williams on the overlap. He uses Dylan Williams.
Oh, no.
Popped out to Mason Burstow. Unfortunately, couldn't redirect it goalwards. I think the flag's up anyway, but it's a good chance for Chelsea and a good chance for Chelsea's leading marksman.
Well, that's twice in 9 minutes we've seen link up on the left-hand side. Before Harvey Val got the cross in, Williams on this occasion gets fed the ball, feeds a lovely little strike. I think it's a shot, not a cross. You can see it here, and it's a real good ping. And to be fair, I think Mason Burstow was offside, but he couldn't adjust his feet as the rebounds come out there, and unfortunately he steered it wide of that far post.
Come out really quickly, didn't it, Mason Burstow? He's having a good season for Chelsea in PL2. He's Chelsea's leading goal scorer at this level as well. He got his 10th goal on Monday night, so good return. If you're getting into double figures in the league, I think at this level any centre forward would take it. There's only a few that are ahead of him on the goal scoring charts. I think there's a couple of Man City players that are quite a way ahead, but certainly Chelsea's leading goal scorer. After that, you're looking at Amari Hutchinson on 7 and Dion Rankin, Charlie Webster both chipping in with 5 each. So you can certainly see that he is Chelsea's leading man when it comes to finding the back of the net, and we've seen that in abundance the last few days. Why? He's that guy.
Yeah, and also the nice thing from my own point of view is that, I was slightly critical of him not being in the 6-yard box. We've been there twice in 10 minutes. Didn't get his touch right in the first one, and the second one just drifted offside. But he's there for the balls to be hit in, and there's been 2 great balls in from the left-hand side. So hopefully he can feed off that later on.
If he's going to listen to anyone, Tommy, he's listening to the right man.
I'm not sure about that. Many moons ago, maybe.
You never lose it. You never lose it.
Can't lose what you never had, they said.
I'll dine out on that, and I'll take that very much.
Love it.
Zach Sturge now looking a little bit longer, maybe trying to clip one in behind. Leo Carsteno's not going to give it up though. Samuel's forced to go all the way back to Cahill. For a second, maybe like that touch might have got away from the goalkeeper, but he did well in the end.
It was a good touch from Samuels as well. When it Castleden had a run on there, and if his first touch had been slack, he'd have given the opportunity to the Chelsea player. But it was a real good touch.
Throwing on this near side to be taken by Sam Packham. It's Hinshelwood. Back to the goalkeeper in Cahill. Good touch again from Samuels. He's looked quite tidy the opening minutes. A lovely sweet ball into the path of Luca Barrington. Here's Moran to Barrington. Dion Rankin does really well. Samuels has retained possession. Back to Moran. Opportunity now for Packham. Slides it wide over to the far side and Perpignan. Oh, it's a lovely step from Hinshelwood. 2 shouts there for a potential penalty, Tommy.
Yeah, there was. I think there was contact there, and they actually give a goal kick there, and a bit of a scramble. But it was a great over from Hinshelwood there, Jack Hinshelwood. And I just felt that the striker maybe had drifted offside, but maybe took the dummy took the attention of the assistant, and he didn't see it. But I said, luckily the scramble fell in Chelsea's way.
Dylan Williams just caught under his feet a little bit. He was a little bit overzealous from Perpignan, so it'll be a free kick to Chelsea. Slonine under a bit of pressure, but Sturge gives him an option. Chelsea win the goal kick.
Yeah, we've seen Williams close down on that right-hand side there, and again the striker, I think Moran, closing down the defender there as well. So they're just starting to squeeze up a little bit higher, Chelsea, and Brighton, and negate the space for Chelsea to play out. So it might be Celine has to kick 1 or 2 to Burstow to get out here.
I suppose that is a huge benefit as well. Gaga Slonina already played some massive games in MLS, but also he's been involved in the American national team setup already. That experience to have as a young goalkeeper at this level is invaluable. Yeah,
it's fantastic. I mean, the game's about confidence, and if that doesn't give you confidence, then nothing will.
It's a lovely sweet ball though from Barrington. Perpignan starting to grow into the game a little bit more at Brighton. Back to Packham, to the feet of Hinshelwood, back to Perpignan. Good feet from Cam Perpignan, driving into the box. Squares it. Ball's gone out of play though, I think, and it's a good chance for, I think it was Moran, was it, closing in there for, it was, yeah, Andy Moran, real opportunity, but it's Cam Perpignan all over. He's played really well this season for for Brighton. As we mentioned, you know, their top goal scorer in PL2 so far this season. It's a good driving run from your wide players, exactly what you want.
Absolutely, yeah. Driving, as I said earlier, about Castledine for Chelsea. Anyone who drives at defenders creates problems for them. He did it at the opening move. He went at Williams and step over, but didn't get past him. On that occasion, he went past. He went past Sturge. Good ball in, but unfortunately just drifted off the end of the pitch. But fortunate for Chelsea.
Opportunity now for Dion Rankin. Deflection. Goalkeeper's done well to keep it in play, though. No, he hasn't. Much to his dismay. It's a Chelsea corner. Opportunity again for some players to get on. Brilliant play from Ben Elliott to start the move there as well. Just delayed the pass, didn't he? Didn't rush it, didn't panic, and always seems to find a way out of those really difficult, tight situations. Yeah,
composure. As I said a few times Monday, Robbo wants his players to be brave, and obviously a couple of defenders got caught on the ball doing that, but that's the learning curve, and as I said, Ben Elliott very, very composed there.
Harvey Vale with the corner. Charlie Webster as a short option, but lofted in towards the far post, towards Alfie Gilchrist. Very nearly made its way to a Chelsea teammate, but right, escape. Now Williams. All the way back to Zach Sturge. 15 minutes played here at Kingsmeadow, still goalless. Best chance of the game so far was probably a Mason Burstow effort, but I think he was actually offside anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. But Chelsea started the bet up. Brighton have grown into it the last 4 or 5 minutes, and it's been a good, entertaining 15 minutes of play. But at the moment, Brighton are looking to sap the life out of it a little bit with Cahill, although a little bit more direct, looking towards Perpignan on this right-hand side. Well defended by Chelsea, though. Elliott into the feet of Vale. Now they can start to motor. Harvey Vale. Still going, Harvey Vale. Let's keep it in play.
But, you know, I talked about braveness earlier, and we talked about Ben Elliott. I think Harvey Vale there, even though it's on his right foot, he's in a fantastic position. He's central, got a chance. He's got a defender in front of him, but sometimes they can mask the ball from the goalkeeper, and just give it a strike there. Maybe get a deflection, create something. The ball eventually to Rankin was poor, and the chance went.
Oh, it's a stunned ball into the midriff of a teammate. It's deflected and gone all the way to Moran, but Chelsea can come again now with Dylan Williams. It's a lofted ball in towards the penalty area, and it was just over the top of Leo Castledine. I think in an ideal world you'd have probably had Mason Burstow, the guy on that, and Castledine sniffing out maybe a knockdown, but nice direct play though, very, very quickly trying to get it in dangerous areas from Dylan Williams.
And a slight element of surprise there, because normally they would play it out to Harvey Vale and let him do it from a better angle, but Williams took the opportunity to drift it to the far post, and you can see what Castledine was trying to do, trying to knock it back to Burstow, who's set in the 6-yard box on his own, but just couldn't get it.
Here's Moran. Rankin. Looking towards Castledine. 2 questions there. It was... I think if you're being fair, Rory McConville, I think he's just a little bit stronger there, isn't he, than Leo Castledine. It would have been soft to give that one. Yeah, no,
that's a 50-50. The race was a 50-50, and they made contact at the end of it. And as I said, there's no chance for me. That's a penalty.
It's interesting though. You see, you know, Brighton, obviously Chelsea are still in that box seat for second place in the league. Crystal Palace a point behind, same games played, but Brighton 6th in the table, which doesn't really tell the story, because you look at some of the players that they've used this season in it, and obviously, you know, 1 or 2 would be very familiar to Chelsea fans because of their performances recently. And Ciso, the guy that bricked one in the top corner from 20 yards, he's played a number of times in PL2 for Brighton this season, as has Evan Ferguson. He started the season playing in PL2. Levi Colwell's even turned out a couple of times for him. So, you know, they do utilise the fact they've got a very young squad, and there's a number of players that step in, but they do seem to have a very good recruitment system and find a way of developing and finding players at the moment.
Yeah, they recruit a lot from us. Billy Gilmore, the Colwell on loan, and obviously Tariq Lamptey. But no, they do pride themselves. The academy's very well run down there, and their recruitment has been very good recently. So, and as you say, look at Ferguson in particular, who looks, I think, what, 18, 19 years old. He could be a real steal, because he's big, he's strong, he's got everything.
Chance from Moran here. Good save from Slonina. Chance not over though. Is Hinshelwood. Just misses the inside post, but it's a little bit of a mix-up there between Alfie Gilchrist and Slonina, but goalkeeper makes an important save to keep the scoreline 0-0.
Yeah, I've got to say, a complete mix-up. I don't know really what was going on. I know they play out from the back, and we talked about the bravery of that, but sometimes it rolls into stupidity, and that wasn't on there. And to be fair, he rescued it with a save. I thought the finish was awful because all he had to do was chip the keeper. Slanina was like on the edge of the box, and if he'd have chipped it, surely it was just an easy roll into the net. But fortunately, he hit it low. Slanina made a save.
Here's Webster trying to build something up the other end for Chelsea. Now Dion Rankin to Charlie Webster. And for Gilchrist. Just go back to Evan Ferguson at Brighton. Obviously signed a new deal with them recently.
Yeah.
There's an amazing picture, which we'll come back to in a second if nothing develops from this yet. There's an amazing picture of him playing in a pre-season game against Chelsea for Bohemians at 15. And there's a picture still between him and Lewis Baker. And I mean, I know that it was fantastic on the day. It was behind closed doors. I think it was during the COVID era. But I know there was a lot of talk on the day about how impressive he was in the 45 minutes that he played. And at 15, he was already competing at a very, very high level. So there's no surprise for anyone. I think even Chelsea eyes are perhaps looking at him and have seen his development close up. There's a lot of people that would be very, very beneficial to have him in their side. And unfortunately, at the moment, he's injured, but he's playing a huge part for Brighton. And again, that recruitment and that level of step up from TL2, you've got that right in front of you if you're a Brighton and Hove Albion player at the moment. A player that started the season in this squad and playing in the first team now as Charlie Webster tries to break the deadlock for Chelsea.
And there's nothing better than a 17, 18-year-old boy coming through the system, as you know. And if it's at Brighton, then so be it. But you know, it pleases the fans, and obviously a lot of people get a kudos out of it.
Absolutely, Alfie Gilchrist there. I think he's unfortunate because I think it does come off of Moran, but the referee's a little bit blindsided, isn't he? So
yeah, I thought he definitely caught Moran on the way out, but Gilchrist saw that, but unfortunately the assistant didn't.
Here's McConville. For a second now, Gilchrist might just, Castledine might just get in there, and Charlie Webster applauding the press from Leo Castledine, which has forced the mistake, and Brody Hughes now taking the throw for Chelsea, bang on halfway. 21 minutes played here at Kingsmeadow, still goalless between Chelsea and Brighton Hove Albion. Won't absolutely confirm it, but should do just about enough if Chelsea win this evening. I mean, barring an absolute miracle and something like a 14-goal swing, Crystal Palace will remain behind us into third, but just drifted inside. It was worth an effort there from Dylan Williams.
Well, the first thing is Charlie Webster hits a ball. It's a fantastic ball. He doesn't get a load on it, but he gets enough to get it onto Williams, and William cuts in on his unfavourable right foot. But I love that. That's quality, that's confidence, and the ability to sort of try and have a strike there. Unfortunately, as I said, he's with his wrong foot and he bends it over the far post. But a great ball initially from Charlie to set that strike up.
All the way back to KL, who's forced to a little bit longer. It's a nice flick on towards Moran from Hinshelwood, but nobody there to pick up the pieces, and Chelsea can go again. Zach Sturge nearly caught in possession, but did so well to retain it. Now Williams. For a second, like Moran might have tried to sneak in there if the ball was going back to the goalkeeper, but well read by Williams, and now Sturge. Very familiar with a lot of these boys, of course, being former teammates. Did you enjoy that when you were playing? Did you enjoy playing against former teammates a little bit?
I did, yeah. I mean, look, it's there's always a bit of spice. You're always trying to put one over on your old mates, but and I'm sure Zach could be doing the same thing here today. Alternatively, of course, it works the other way.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Here's Ben Elliott. Mason Burstow is still down at the moment, but Ben Elliott's going to continue. He's in a good position now. Leo Castledine will wander away from his teammate who's still down on the floor at the moment. Burstow slowly getting back to his feet. Now Gilchrist. Now Hughes to Gilchrist. Just keep a little eye on Mason Burstow. Hopefully it was just an impact. There was nothing more than that, but he's back on his feet now.
Yeah, I actually didn't see what happened there. He obviously was in the penalty box, so it must have been contact, and he's obviously not feeling very comfortable with it.
No, he's just beckoning the Chelsea medical staff to come and give him a little bit of attention, which will bring together a little pause in play at the moment. So what's your assessment then of the first 24 minutes then, Tommy?
Well, frantic. One or two good bits of play. couple of good balls in from the left-hand side for Chelsea. Good dummy from Hakim Ziyech just now, which put Chelsea under pressure, but we managed to clear it. But nothing really clear-cut. No keeper been really tested, apart from the Williams shot, which obviously the keeper saved it. Unfortunately, Burster was offside. But apart from that, just still finding their feet. Brighton just starting to press a little bit higher now, which might leave space in behind if we can break between the lines.
Still plenty of time, of course. We're midway through this first half, but Mark Robinson going for a few additional instructions towards his team there. And again, a lot of players that have got, you know, a huge amount of experience at this level. I mean, Mason Burstow's one of those who's played pretty much a part in every game so far this season. I think there's only one game that he's not been involved in some capacity. Dion Rankin, likewise, has been involved in every game. So is a lot of experience and a lot of know-how at this level. And I suppose when you get to games like this evening and games where you know you need to win it, but that sort of top spot is gone now. You need that experience, don't you, to lean on to say, look, this is the standard that we set. No matter who you're playing, no matter where you are, no matter what's going on around it, you've got to meet those levels.
The word standards is exactly that. You've got to keep to your standards. You've got to know what's expected of you and what you should expect of yourself. And if you drop below them standards, then you're going to have a problem with the coach and everybody else. So no, this club has brought some great players through that have grown up in the system, and you know from a very early age what's expected you when you pull the blue shirt on for Chelsea at whatever level you play. So Mason Burstow, he looks a little bit sore, but hopefully he can run it off. Hopefully it's a kick, not a twist, and he'll be all right. But yeah, the word you use, standards, is absolutely spot on.
What is interesting as well, and I know that the way Chelsea do things is very different to a lot of teams. You know, you look at I'm picking a team at random, but a team that I know it's true of. Everton, whose PL2 side, probably average age is looking at 22, 23. You're looking at Chelsea, their average age is probably around 18, 19. You know, Webster's 19, Williams 19, Castledine 17, Slonina 18, Rankin 20, Burstow and Gilchrist both 19 as well. So a lot younger, but then this group can be together for 3 or 4 years at this level. You know, and also you're testing yourself at a younger age. Older pros and players that perhaps have got a little bit more know-how, a little bit more experience about themselves. So I guess there's always that caveat, and always that you've got to kind of take into consideration that this is a young Chelsea group that they are testing against older pros. Really. Yeah,
and I mean, even this week we've seen them play against a guy who's played 30 games for Brazil, you know, at Lucas Moura. So, you know, you're every week is a different test, and as I said, you have to push yourself and keep to the standards you're used to. And but you're hoping that this team almost gets disbanded purely because, and I don't mean that flippantly, you want them going on loan. You want them to actually be going up the ladder. Not if they're playing here next year, I think something's probably wrong. So they need to be attracting Championship clubs, Division 1 clubs, so they can really go out and learn what the game's really about.
And then, like we've seen already in the last few weeks, the group that's playing in the 18s at the moment then step up, don't they? And then you have the same, you know, you have the 16s almost that are playing at the 18s level, the 18s that are playing at the 21s level. And
the wheel keeps turning, and that's what happens. You know, you look at the boys that are playing last week against Crystal Palace and West Brom on the Tuesday. They'll want to be fed up into this league because they'll outgrow that league, and they'll want to be playing in the PL2. So, yeah, and to leave spaces, these guys have got to go elsewhere, and that's the way of the world.
Even Leo Castledine, the number 10, you can see in your shot at the moment. He started the season playing in the 18s. You know, turned 17 only a couple of months into the season. Now finds himself very much part of the PL2 picture. Ball gets zipped in towards Charlie Webster, just unable to reel it in. As lovely sweep of play that is from Rory McConville. Oh. What a ball! Now here's Cam Perpillon driving towards the byline again. Slonina does enough. Tips it out of danger. Samuels is going to keep it in play though, one-on-one with Dion Rankin. Back to McConville, who's stepping a little bit further forward now, looks to float it in as well. He's got a pass on him as Rory McConville.
Yeah, it was a great ball. I mean, it was, what, 60 yards to the feet of the young winner Perpillon, who, to be fair, one-on-one with Williams at the moment. He's getting the better of that. Williams going forwards looked very impressive. Couple of shots, couple of good crosses in. But defensively, Perpillon's getting behind him, and on that occasion again got to the byline, got a cross in. Slonina just got out of that danger area.
Well, again, you know, we talk about some teams being older. Brighton very much part of the sort of similar conversation as Chelsea. Younger players. Rory McConville playing at centre half, the number 5, 17 years of age. He's, you know, one of those that again already looks imperious in terms of his physical appearance, and technically he's been outstanding so far for Brighton. So another one that you've probably got to look out for. The way that Brighton play out from the back as well in their first team, he's probably one that's knocking on the door in 18 months' time.
Yeah, I mean, centre halves now are encouraged to do diags, and you know, more often than not they get them wrong. But in that occasion, it was fantastic. I mean, he's literally pinged 160 yards straight to Pepillon's feet, and again that expands the game and gives Pepillon a chance to go one-on-one with Williams.
I think Gilchrist showing that he's got every bit of that, as well as he lofts one towards Leo Castledine.
Oh,
lovely flick round the corner, Dion Rankin. Just clicked his standing foot, didn't it, Rankin there, as he tried to slide it into the path of Burstow.
But again, Castledine doing something different, creating something out of nothing. Unfortunately, Dion Rankin, as you say, had 2 touches as opposed to the 1, and end up misplacing the pass. But again, lovely bit of play from Castledine.
Opportunity now for Brighton to start building something on the right-hand side with Packham. Lovely flipped ball over the side from Hinshelwood. It's the path of Pepillon. Zach Sturge does well. Does really well, in fact, and finds Dylan Williams to Vale.
Oh, touch.
Flick round the corner, Charlie Webster. He spotted Mason Burstow on the left-hand side. Here is Burstow. Similar position to he had a strike on Monday night. Is he going to do it again? So chops it infield to Charlie Webster. I think both our eyes lit up there, Tommy, because I thought we knew exactly what he was going to do.
When he popped in there, that's where he came in, as you rightly said, at Stevenage the other night against Spurs, and smacked it against the far post. And he played a little 1-2 there with Charlie Webster, and unfortunately Charlie just over it the return pass, and again the chance goes begging.
Foul from Dion Rankin on Samuels.
Looking at Charlie, he's so frustrated with himself. He knows he should have put that ball straight in the path of Mason Burstow for him just to slide into the far corner.
Let me ask you then, as a manager, is that something that you love to see? Because we all have seen on, you know, numerous occasions this season just how good technically Charlie Webster is, what a player he is going to be. But do you like to see that reaction from a player that sets such high standards for himself?
I love it, because you have to be self-critical. You have to look yourself in the mirror and know when you're doing things well and when you haven't done things as well. And Charlie, with his standards, again that word, he would know that's a disappointing pass, because he could have rolled it just into the forwards path, and it could have been an opportunity to score.
Signed a new deal a couple of months ago. There was a lot of teams that were supposedly caught in his contract situation. Thankfully, he's going to be a Chelsea player for a lot longer, because he's certainly a player that I've massively enjoyed watching this season. Just so composed and calm on the ball, and you can see he just spots the ball. He's unlucky there, but doesn't give it up. Opportunity. Real commentator's curse then, as Sammy. I'll stop saying anything if you're watching this back, Charlie. Sammy Chouchain there just stepped across, and here is McConville into Hinchy. Now Moran. Back to Rory McConville. Turns 18 next week, does Rory McConville. Just had a little look at that. So to celebrate a birthday week with a good performance, and he's put in a good 32 minutes here at Kingsmeadow so far. But it's a long evening, and when you've got the likes of Leo Castledine, Mason Burstow and Harvey Vale, that will really test and see where you are in your development. Back to Castledine. Brody Hughes is forced to switch it all the way over to Dylan Williams. Zach Sturge marauding out on the overlap there.
Yeah, Sturge is now playing as a left winger, so can't lose the ball here because we're a centre-half line.
Wants in, doesn't he? Wants in on his former team. Slonina. Towards Dion Rankin. It's a lovely header from Rankin. Ben Elliott's done well. Now Elliott. 4-on-4 for Chelsea. Just unlucky there, Ben Elliott. Just kind of looked like he was in two minds, didn't it?
Absolutely. For me, the indecision killed him, because he wanted to slide the ball out 1 second, because they got a chance here.
It was a slide over the top from Barrington. He's going to go out for a throw-in, in fact. Yeah, he just caught in two minds a little bit there. Yeah,
he saw the run outside him of Castledine, and he was waiting for the defender to commit himself, then he could slide him into the space. Defender held his ground, which did really well, and that moment of indecision killed him, because then he didn't know, he lost his footing, and again, chance to create an opportunity goes begging.
Just over 10 minutes to play until the half-time break here at Kingsmeadow. Still goalless between Chelsea and Brighton. A good, lively opening 34 minutes, though. Here in the it's quite mild London evening on a bank holiday. It's not often you say that, is it? Usually bank holiday weekend is greeted with a lot of rain, so we will absolutely take this evening.
And the other good news is that Mason Burstow's running quite freely now, so that's also a help after his little injury in the box.
Here's Samuels. Conville. Flick round the corner from Hinshelwood. He's grown into the game, isn't he? He's playing really well.
He's linking play up nicely, isn't he, Jack Hinshelwood, yeah?
Rafinha tries to just find someone at the far post, and maybe it's going to be kept in play, is it? No, it's not. Just going to bounce away from Moran, I think it is there. Brody Hughes going to take the throw in for Chelsea, and right in that far corner. By Hinchy. Can't be kept in play. Mark Robinson just slowing things down, as is Leo Castledine there, ensuring that Brighton can't get on with things as quickly as they would like. I mean, building on the left-hand side though, a little flick round the corner, and they keep it in play. Oh, I think it's popped a hand there from Brody Hughes, but Moran's going to carry on. Yeah, the referee's seen it. Definitely, as the defenders come in now, the forwards flicked it past him, he just caught it in with his arm there as he's flailing away, and a definite free kick here. Chance for a dangerous ball into the box, probably Hinshelwood might take it, I would imagine, in his number 10 role. I think it might be Barrington who stood over it, but he's certainly a player to keep an eye on wherever he's just lurking on the edge of the box. Yeah, he's on the edge. Yeah, Samuels perhaps offering another option. It looks like it will be Barrington to take it. Conville, Kavanagh up from the back. Didn't look well caught from Slonina. A lot of pace on the ball, but should be a comfortable one from the goalkeeper. Elliott's been caught in possession though. Here's Barrington back to Hinshelwood. Back to Barrington. Hinshelwood again. It's a nice idea though. Just well read by Slonina, and now Chelsea can break with Dylan Williams. Yeah, again, but Elliott got caught on the ball in a very dangerous area, and obviously Hinshelwood pings the ball in there. He's trying to pick out Pupion and come in from that right-hand side, but unfortunately underhit it. It fell through to Slovenia, but is this a yellow card here? Yeah, I think he's given it for deliberate handball. I'm not sure that Kavanagh can do a lot there, to be honest. He's kind of committed to the almost block tackle, which Burstow's just to flick one round, but it will be the first booking of the evening for Lee Kavanagh. Yeah, you can see he's pleading his case, but the referee's explained it to him why, and first yellow card. First yellow card, still plenty of time. They're quite a physical two central defenders in Kavanagh and McConville. So perhaps a little bit more of a challenge now for Mason Burstow to bear in mind that one's on a yellow card. I'm sure that won't have gone unnoticed by Mark Robinson as well. No, I think you'll be running it every opportunity you get now. Will it be Webster? Will it be Vale? It'll be Charlie Webster. It's a deep one towards the far post. It's a dangerous area as well. Bounces 2 or 3 yards off of that goal line. Is that a good ball, well defended, or is that over here? Well, I don't quite know what I've seen there, Tommy. I personally think it's probably half a yard over hit, if I'm being ultra critical, but you could see the ball was hit into a great area, and the indecision between the goalkeeper and the defenders was just obviously, and if we got someone with a little bit of bravery getting in there, they might have been able to nick a header at goal, but as I said, the ball was decent, but maybe half a yard over hit. Ben Elliott does well there to recover possession for Chelsea. Now Slonina. Sturge and Williams exchanging passes. Now Charlie Webster does so well to wriggle out of trouble there, Charlie Webster. And now pitch is opening up for Chelsea's number 6. Slides it into the feet of Harvey Vale. Underlapping run from Dylan Williams. He's been left in a heat, but Williams will play on and win the Chelsea corner.
Yeah, again, great play down the left-hand side. I mean, if Chelsea had any success, it's more often not down that side, and Williams and Val. But it was actually Charlie Webster who set it up. Great little bit of move there. He looks as though he's had a bit of a cul-de-sac. Brighton had him there, but he squeezed through, played a good ball out, and obviously give us an opportunity.
Webster to take the corner for Chelsea as well. Alfie Gilchrist taking a slow march into the box, but it's short. And now Williams back to Webster. Looped into a dangerous area. Well defended, but only as far as Dion Rankin. Lovely first touch. Hughes. Nice little corner routine from Chelsea there, Tommy.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And the ball in from Charlie Webster again was very, very good. I mean, just dipped at a vital moment as the goalkeeper was coming out. Defender did really well to get in front of him and head it clear, but it was in that no man's land. The keeper came out and said a little flick from a Chelsea striker would have been over him.
Slonina looking for Vale. Header from Packham. And then Perpignan rolls it into the feet of Ben Elliott. Now Harvey Vale. Able to drive at the Brighton back line. Five minutes into the break here at Kingsmeadow. Still goalless.
Yeah, and again, you know, Harvey Vale's done brilliant. And again, it's a run into a very dangerous area. Yes, he's trying to pick out Burstow, but have a little go yourself. You've got such a great left foot. Just think, you know, take it to the left-hand side and have a strike. But the ball was overplayed, and another unfortunate pass goes astray.
Brody Hughes rolls the ball back to Slonina. Chelsea can build from back again.
So they're just squeezing very high now, and Chelsea playing out from the back, but haven't been able to get out. I've got lucky with that, I think.
Christian Pulisic, but crunching tackle from McConville. Samuels tries to find Barrington.
I don't think McConville takes prisoners on the halfway line. I think you know he's about, as Harvey Vale is there.
He's done really well there, Vale, actually, hasn't he? And then Webster sweeps the ball into the feet of Dylan Williams.
Oh, what a ball.
Nearly was absolutely pinpoint perfect towards Mason Burstow, but it's a wonderful last-ditch tackle from Lee Kavanagh.
Well, unbelievable ball in, and Kavanagh, I mean, he's got no chance really, but he does so well to get back there and then get such a clearance in, such power in the clearance. The ball was superb from Williams. And if you're a striker, you're Mason Burstow stood behind Kavanagh there, you're going, thank you, I'm just going to tap this in and make this 1-0. Great challenge from the defender.
Gilchrist. Zach Sturge. Williams. Back to Williams. Great. Lovely sweeping pass from Dylan Williams to Dion Rankin. Towards the far post, Leo Castledine arriving. Burstow get there, not quite. Now Brighton can wriggle their way out of trouble with Hinshelwood. It's one of those you see them giving all the time, don't you? But it's very intelligent play from the centre forward. Yeah,
Moran's backing in there to Gilchrist, and you know what he's looking for. It's a get-out ball, and he backs in the defender. Can't do anything. You're hoping Charlie Webster might be able to nick it from the front, defend it from the front. Doesn't get back quick enough.
It's an early sweeping pass as well to Perpignan. I think it's Sam Packham who's driving forward. Player might be in a bit of discomfort there, because I think he's crashed into one of the uprights that's keeping the net up.
Yeah, it is Perpignan as well, and again he's driving to the byline and trying to get across in. He's been a handful on that right-hand side, but as you said, I think his momentum's took him through, and he nasty wrap there.
Yeah, very unforgiving, those metal poles, aren't they, as we trudge off to take a little breather then whilst he receives some medical attention. Which is quite sportsmanlike for Chelsea, actually, because technically he's off the pitch and you can play on, right?
Yeah, really.
Opportunity, though, for one final message before we reach the half-time interval.
I just feel Chelsea are a much better side when Charlie Webster gets on the ball and starts dominating. You know, you looked at him and Ben Elliott, as I said, I thought they were the best two midfield players on show the other night against Spurs, but end up losing. But, you know, when Charlie gets on it, he's electric, and you saw his little move there where he got out of a bit of trouble, played a simple ball, and allow Chelsea on the attack. And when he's on the ball, Castle Dean's on the ball, I think we're much more effective.
You certainly want to see both of those get involved in everything that Chelsea are doing moving forward, because, like you said, they're both not only a joy to watch, but Chelsea seem to be far more productive when they're both on the pitch and they're both playing at their absolute peak. So if Chelsea are going to get something from today's game, I'd expect both of those to be heavily involved. And again, not that it's not done, but Chelsea do need to make sure that they get a result tonight. If they win tonight, then they put second place beyond Crystal Palace, but anything but a win would leave it open for the Eagles to swoop in and take out of Chelsea's hands, which would be a very disappointing end to what has been a largely good and productive season.
Yeah, and that's, I think I mentioned it Monday, you know, the disappointment of not actually challenging for the title, losing the 4 games, 3 games at the moment, but if you lost this it would be 4, and that one draw has actually killed the dream. So, you know, it's been a disappointing end to the season, which Robbo doesn't want to continue. That's why he's desperate for 3 points tonight.
Sturge stuns the ball towards Burstow, but McConville sweeps that up. There he is.
It's great.
Shane. It's a lovely switch of play towards Perpignan, who thankfully is back and okay. He's got Hinshelwood for support. Moran far post as well. Uses Hinshelwood. 3 additional minutes added on at the end of this first half, and it'll be a Brighton corner.
Yeah, again, right-hand side, and he's a real handful. Perpignan, he loves to run at defenders. On that occasion, he fed it to Jack Hinshelwood, drove it across, well defended by Sturge.
Corner to be taken then by Luca Barrington. Shane and Hakim on the edge of the box, but it's a low-driven cross towards Moran. Charlie Webster's done really well, and now potentially can get Chelsea going. What a ball that is! Oh,
Dion Rankin just lost his feet at a vital moment, and Samuels has come away with it, and now Brighton are on the attack.
Oh, very nearly fell to Hinshelwood, but Williams has done well. Genuinely, that is incredible, isn't it? The fact it's underneath his foot, he almost stuns it with the outside of his foot as well to get the swerve on it to find Dion Rankin. What a pass from Charlie Webster. Yeah,
it was brilliant, and you know, set us on the attack, but unfortunately couldn't make the most of it again. Oh.
Nearly fell for Hinshelwood there, who's looking to set it back for a teammate, but it's got a little bit basketball in the last 90 seconds, which might work in Chelsea's favour now, because here's an opportunity for Dion Rankin. Vale for support, uses Harvey Vale. Now Ben Elliott to Charlie Webster, wants to hit it, it does! What a strike from Charlie Webster, rattles the crossbar, it's not over yet though, Harvey Vale could be in. What a strike from Charlie Webster, and I think that's a really good save actually, Tommy. I think the goalkeeper's got a fingertip on that.
Well, it was a magnificent strike, whether he has or he hasn't. I mean, he can do no more, and it was a great move from Chelsea. Again, Ben Elliott just slid the ball eventually into Charlie. He's won. Oh, if the keeper, I'm not sure the keeper saved it. There was so much bend on the ball. It's very hard. The dip on it was unbelievable. Just didn't dip enough to get Charlie that all required goal. I mean, it was just a great bit of quality from him. That's a foul there on our defender, guys.
Does really well actually, Brody Hughes, doesn't he, to win the throw-in. Probably was a foul, but take the throw-in instead. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you're Gilchrist, who's smashed it into Ben Elliott, and it's going to fall to Moran. And Brighton lead right on the stroke of half-time. It's Andy Moran, seconds after Chelsea rattled the crossbar with Charlie Webster. Andy Moran slides it into the bottom corner, and Brighton have an unsuspecting lead here at Kingsmeadow.
You know, sometimes I can't believe what I'm seeing, and I watched a decent Chelsea performance on Monday night. The third goal came from a very similar situation where Chelsea could have scored one end as Charlie Webster just hit the bar. They went down the other end and got a breakaway goal. And that's poor from Gilchrist. I mean, he's got to do better than that. I mean, he gets blocked, goes into a very dangerous area. I talked many times about being brave and doing the right things. Sometimes, minute from half-time, you just got to put your foot through the ball and just get it out of that danger area, at least going at 0-0. Now they find themselves a goal behind, and they've not really deserved it. And Moran, in particular, has had very little influence in the game, but that's a poor goal to concede just before half-time.
Wounding one for Chelsea on the stroke of half-time at first half. That's been
Look at that.
Plentiful for both teams. Quite frantic game of football at times. It's been intriguing to watch. Chelsea have come millimetres away from opening the scoring with Charlie Webster, who crashed it against the crossbar from 20 yards, and literally seconds later, moments before the referee puts the whistle to his lips, Andy Moran snaffles out a half chance that is all of Chelsea's own making and slides Brighton into a 1-0 lead. Disappointing, Tommy, because I'd imagine going in at half-time on performance levels about 90 seconds ago, Mark Robinson would have been quite happy with the afternoon and evening's work.
Yeah, and at 0-0 we were the better side and creating the better chances. And you can't give teams goals, and we've done that a lot in the couple of games I've been at. That you know, and this just before half-time epitomises that. You know, you look at the left-hand side, Williams, Val, they've linked up great. Castledean's been involved. Charlie Webster, great strike just now we've seen hit the bar. And Mason Burstow's had a couple of chances in the box. And, you know, it's been a decent first half. But you go in with a sour taste in your mouth because you end up a goal down, and you really shouldn't be a goal down. You've done far better than that. And, as I said, you can't gift teams goals. And we seem to be doing quite a bit of that.
Coming into tonight, Crystal Palace would have been hoping that their bitter rivals Brighton will do them a favour. At the moment, Seagulls are doing them a favour because it will be certainly in Palace's hands to take second place in PL2, but still plenty of time to come here at Kings Meadow. And I guess that's what we spoke about before the game, though, isn't it, Tommy, where you take on a little bit more responsibility yourself, and these are the games and the adversity that you come back from that perhaps you need to learn if you're going to be a top pro, and now's the opportunity to show that these boys are on that path. Yeah, we saw that the other night. I mean, 3-0 down, they could have given it up and gone, no, not for me, but they got back to 3-2 and had a chance to make it 3-3. So, you know, there's opportunities, and trust me, there's 45 minutes to go, and Chelsea will create chances to get back in this game and perhaps win the game. But as I said, going in at half-time, 0-0, not great, but you're on level terms. Now all of a sudden you find yourself a goal down. The team talks totally different, the attitude's totally different, and you know you've got to come out scrapping. And you know, I'm sure the Robbo will have wound them up a little bit, so when they come up they'll be like a cold spring, I hope. With that performance from Monday night, that reaction from Monday night, still very much in their mind. Like you said, it was I mean, if the game would have gone on another 10 minutes, we'd have probably been talking about at least a point in Chelsea's favour, the way that they reacted to that. Will that still be something that the players will remember as well, to say, look, Monday night, we need to replicate that. We need to go one better, but also we need to make sure we don't leave ourselves as much to do as we did Monday night? Yeah, I mean, look, you don't want to replicate it because obviously you were 3-0 down when you finally dragged yourself back into the game, so that you don't want to replicate that. But what you do want is that attitude to actually fight, and now you find yourself a goal down and get back in it. The key for me is stop the silly mistakes, because you know, there's been one or two. I think the winger in particular has created one or two problems from free play. But apart from that, Pepion alone, it's been quite comfortable at the back for the boys, and the only stresses they put is their own selves playing out from the back when they shouldn't. And as I said, at half-time, that for me is game management, and that comes with experience. And I'm sure Robbo will say, listen guys, you've made a mistake, but you'll learn from it, because at that stage, a minute to half-time, just smash it. Let's go in at half-time 0-0. They didn't do that. We find ourselves a goal behind. Like you said, still plenty of players with that experience that we spoke about a little bit earlier on, players that, you know, will be able to lead the team and show them that, you know, that this is the right way to do things and this is how to do it. And certainly individual performances in that first half, Charlie Webster being one, has been a real bright spark, and I suppose from his perspective he's kind of probably thinking, I just need to carry on doing that and setting the example and leading by example. And as we keep coming back to that word standard, but certainly there's 3 or 4 that will go in at half time thinking, okay, this is what we need to be doing, and other players need to follow suit. Yeah, Chelsea are a better side when he's on the ball. Charlie Webster and Castledean the same. They give you something different. They got the trick. They can open up with a pass, and as I said, they give you something other players don't. But that's no detraction on Ben Elliott. Ben Elliott's had an influential game, done well. He's bossed the midfield there. He's won his battles and done the job. Harvey Val's done well on the left-hand side. I think his link play up with Williams has been good. A couple of great crosses into the box. One thing I would say is he's had 2 opportunities to strike on the edge of the box, and we all know what a lovely left foot he's got, albeit one of them was on the right, and he chose to pass and misplaced the pass. And that, for me, is a sign that, you know, maybe lack of confidence in and around the final third. Just take a little bit of responsibility. You're good enough. You know you can strike it with either foot. Give the goalkeeper a test. Absolutely. Still plenty of football to come this evening here at Kingsmeadow. The sun is still out, so we'll take that certainly on this bank holiday weekend. Chelsea are 1 down at half-time to Brighton and Hove Albion, but still plenty of time to get back into it, so make sure you stick with us for this one this evening. Obviously, there's been quite a lot of football going on around the club recently, some massive games, including a Women's Champions League game against Barcelona at the Nou Camp. Here's how Emma Hayes' side got on.
Graham Hansen should get there first. Schwaller in the middle waiting for the cross. She's trying to block it. So can get the shot in herself off Mielda. Here's Oshuala. What a chance for Barcelona. Inside the opening 10 minutes. Great work from Graham Hansen. Oshuala couldn't hit the target. Graham Hansen. He left it, and it's over the bar from Caldente. Never that from Bon Mati, but the finish was lacking. Here come Barca again, they're streaming forward now. 3-on-2. And Carter can't stop it going in. And Caroline Graham Hansen gives Barcelona the lead on the night, and now they have a 2-goal cushion. Lightning fast counter. Chelsea have put bodies forward to mean they were short at the back. Graham Hansen's shot had just enough power. That is a brilliant challenge from Erin Cup, but so typical of her. Dispossessed Caldente, who's told to get back to her feet. It's a lovely ball over the top for Kerr. Kerr's in behind here, heavy touch. Goalkeeper made the save, but there's Guro Wrighton to get Chelsea back in it. Game on in Barcelona, and Guro Wrighton with another massive contribution to the Chelsea cause. One back, this is going to run for Kerr. Can she get it out her feet? Here's Lauren James, plenty of options, she's gone for goal, and it's over the bar. The time is against Chelsea now.
Emma, commiserations, a 2-1 aggregate defeat to Barcelona in the Champions League. What were your thoughts on the 90 minutes and the tie overall?
I can't ask any more of our players. And I know I said to them at the end, we were all proud to be Chelsea because I think the better team lost today. You know, once we grew into the game, which is, you have to expect there's 70-odd thousand people here, it's not easy. And I think by not conceding early, you give yourself a chance to grow, and we did that, and we got more aggressive, created chances. And I'm absolutely gutted, to be honest.
As you say, there are so many positives that we can take tonight. A 1-1 draw at the home of one of the best teams in the world. Is that what you'll take from this evening, as opposed to the exit?
It's hard when you lose and you care. I can't think of anything else but the defeat, and how much it pains me because our dressing room delivered everything we could have asked, and I want more for them, and I want more as a result, as an outcome. But we executed everything I can ask, and you know we have to deal with the disappointment and keep growing.
As you say, it's been a tough Champions League campaign. Do you think that will stand us in good stead going into future seasons in this competition?
I think it's the first time we played Barcelona, so they beat us in the final a couple of years ago. I think at the home leg, we have to take our learnings from the home leg. Whether we paid them a little bit too much respect, that's for us to work on. What I know is not too many teams come here and almost dominate the second half like we did, and so I'm proud of that.
As you say, we've got the FA Cup, we've got the league. What will you want to see from your players for the remainder of the season?
I can't think about that right now. I want to be disappointed, and because I care. But I'm pretty sure, ask me the question tomorrow, my head will be on it.
Brilliant, thank you so much, Emma. Erin, it's a 1-1 draw that sadly means our exit from the Champions League. What do you make of the 90 minutes and the tie overall?
I think we've got a lot to be proud of. Bitterly disappointed when you come so close, but I think in front of their fans to put on a performance like we did and stand up and show ourselves, so it's a lot to be proud of. And you know, that was a real Chelsea performance tonight, and I think we've got to take this now into the FA Cup and the league.
As you say, there were so many positives, including getting back into the game after going a goal behind tonight. What did you make of the team's, I guess, mentality to get back into the game?
Emma talks about suffering, and we knew we had to suffer tonight. We knew it was going to be a tough game. They created a brilliant atmosphere. It was quite hostile at times. They put you under pressure. We can't hear each other, but you know, that's the moment you've got to look each other in the eye and you've got to say, you know, this is our moment. We've got to stand up. We've got to make ourselves counted. We've got to all show up. And you know, I think every individual that out there tonight had something to be proud of. And you know, I'm certainly proud to wear the Chelsea badge tonight.
And it's at the end of a dramatic Champions League season. What do you make of the club's performance over the course of the campaign?
You know, I think a bit of perspective. We've played PSG, Real Madrid, Lyon and Barca. You know what I mean? For it, all those games, it's crazy amount of opposition, and you know, to not lose away from home, is that right? It shows a lot to be proud of. Of course, we're disappointed. Of course, we wanted to get to the final. We've got a squad capable of doing it, but you know, one thing's for certain: we're not going to give up, and we're going to make sure we come back next year with a vengeance.
And as you say, still in the league, still in the FA Cup. What's the squad's mentality going to be going forward?
You know, I think last year you saw that when we lost the Continental Cup final, we certainly spurred ourselves on and we went on and won every trophy. That's one thing for sure, is this club will never settle. We will never give up. And I think tonight, if anything, has gave us a taste of what we want, and we want to get there, and we'll make sure we get back to the training ground and we'll do everything that needs to get there. Brilliant,
thank you, Erin.
Very passionate Erin Cuthbert and a very passionate Emma Hayes prior to that as well. Two fantastic games of football between two of the best footballing sides on the planet, and from a Chelsea fan's perspective, I think Emma Hayes put it perfectly. You know, it hurts, but incredibly proud for the team to go toe-to-toe. Again, this is a Barcelona team at home, Tommy, that had won 79 or 80 games on the bounce at home. You know, we're the first team in a very, very long time to not only get a result there, but also go toe-to-toe with them for a lot of it, because there's quite a lot of teams and a lot of very, very good teams that can't even get onto a level of competing with Barcelona. So the fact that Chelsea competed over the two legs and, you know, we're disappointed to not get a result, I think shows how far this football club's come, but also how far this football club will go.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the pain etched in Emma's face there. I mean, it hurt her so much, but amongst that, this morning she will be so proud of what her ladies have done over the two legs. Trust me, Barca, I was here on the weekend. I did the comms for the stadium, and I've never seen a ladies team play as well, been as dominant and run a football match like it. But Chelsea were dogged. Chelsea were brilliant. They stuck bodies in the way. When they got the ball, they tried to play. They were excellent in every phase of the game. And I feared the worst for them yesterday. To go to the Nou Camp in front of 70,000 people and get a draw and really put them under pressure and keep in the game is a magnificent achievement. Let's not beat around the bush. It's magnificent. And them girls, you saw the passion there in the interviews. I hope they take the extreme positives, because they are extreme positives, and take that to the cup final against Manchester United. Games, you know, against the Manchester City coming up, I think, in the league. I think they've got 7 games in May, if I check the fixtures correctly. And every one of them is going to be another cup final. But that performance yesterday will stand them in good stead.
Completely right, and again, you know, we talk about the legacy that Emma Hayes has imprinted on this football club, and players like Erin Cuthbert as well, who have been here for a long period of time and have been very, very vital to the way that Chelsea are viewed now as a football club, in terms of, you know, you come into those games and you expect us to be getting to the latter stages of the Champions League, and it won't be long before Chelsea are putting the first star above the badge, because they've come so close, you know. But this is a Barcelona team that only 3 or 4 years ago were beating us 4-1 in the final and were running riot in the first 25-30 minutes. You know,
well, it was all over in 15 minutes,
exactly,
wasn't it? You know, and the one thing that couldn't happen over the two legs was that. And I think Emma made a point there that maybe they showed them too much respect on the back of what happened against Barcelona before, where they found themselves out of the contest before it even really kicked off. And I think they wanted to keep themselves in the game, and they did so well. As I said, I was here. They defended valiantly, woman to woman, from the goalkeeper through to 11. They were magnificent. They worked so hard, and they nearly got the rewards by that stickability yesterday in the Nou Camp. Give themselves a chance. Unfortunately, as I said, just fell short with the final hurdle.
Absolutely, but yeah, like you brilliantly put there, a really passionate emotional performance from everyone, and Chelsea will absolutely go again next season. And this season will still be hugely successful, because I've no doubt that we'll be lifting some silverware in the next few weeks. We are back underway here at Kings Meadow for this PL2 clash. Chelsea 1 down. Andy Moran literally on the stroke of half-time. No changes at half-time either for either side, so running through the Chelsea 11 will be Gaga Slonina, it will be Brody Hughes, Alfie Gilchrist, who's captain tonight, Zach Sturge, and then a 4 across midfield, Dylan Rankin, Charlie Webster, Ben Elliott and Dylan Williams. Harvey Vale and Leo Castledine as the 2 10s behind the number 9 in shot now. Mason Burstow, Chelsea's top goal scorer in PL2 so far this season. As for Brighton and Hove Albion, Cahill, Packham, Samuels, Kavanagh, McConville, Shushain, Pepillon, Hinchy the captain, Moran the goal scorer, Hinchelwood and Barrington. Here is the Chelsea captain. Gilchrist leaves it for Slonina.
I'm sorry, but Alfie Gilchrist was looking up to play the ball back to Slovenia, and he stood alongside him. You could see the element of shock in his mannerisms there. Oh dear.
Throw-in to be taken on this far side then from Sam Packham. 2 metres away from that passionate gaze from Mark Robinson. The Chelsea players were out a good 2.5 minutes before their Brighton counterparts. Sturge as well there, Pepillon with a little back heel to Packham. Now Shushain, Kavanagh. Switch of play to Imari Samuels. Defended by Brody Hughes, and now looked up only to see Mason Burstow, the only man ahead of him.
Yeah, he was looking for a get out. He's done really well there, Brody. He was really closed him down, got a good challenge in, looked up and didn't see anybody in front of him. He hesitated, and obviously Brighton got back and nicked the ball off him.
Williams plays a little 1-2 with Charlie Webster, forced to go back to Zach Sturge. Slonina to Hughes. To go slightly more longer towards Mason Burstow, but can keep it in play. What would have been the conversation or the message then that Mark Robinson will have sent his team out for the second half, Tommy?
Well, unfortunately, forget what the mistake we've just made and get ourselves a goal down. And already you can see the pace of the game's upped. But alternatively, if you're the Brighton coach, you're saying to your team, by the way, they're going to come out all guns blazing. So make sure you react accordingly. And both teams have come out really fiery. And there's a bit more pace in the game that started the first half. But from Robbo's point of view, yeah, get yourself back in the game whatever way you can do it. Work hard, squeeze high as we're doing now, and see if we can create a mistake. Is that a foul? No. From Brighton.
It's Sturge. Now Webster. Now Williams. It's inside Dylan Williams. He's a little bit lucky with the deflection. It's found its way to Harvey Vale. Long and deep towards Dion Rankin. Step over from Dion Rankin, 1 or 2. Jinking and chopping towards Ben Elliott. Hinchy stepped across and did well. The Brighton captain can come forward with it.
Yeah, Rankin was patient there, and I just felt Ben Elliott didn't go with any real desire there. He didn't really show at all. And you heard the shout from the bench there, go on Ben, and they saw the angle created. And he didn't really go with any sort of pace, and the defender come across, and I think it was Hinchy, as you rightly said in commentary, come and nicked it off him.
Now Brody Hughes to take the throw-in. Gilchrist all the way back to Slonina. To Harvey Vale with a little bit of grass to run into. Harvey Vale nudges it wide to Williams. Sturge for support. First time ball in is from Zach Sturge. It's a good header from McConville. Chelsea continuing this high press, and really good play there from Hinchelwood. Barrington with a quick feet as well. Hinchy again.
Yeah, they worked that really well. Brighton, Chelsea putting them under pressure, trying to squeeze hard and create that pressure higher up the pitch. But they little one-touch football, and they escaped the press.
McConville over to Packham. Williams does just enough to prevent the ball finding its way to Luca Barrington. Packham again. Play, couldn't find Pepe on this right side. The throw in that Dylan Williams will take. He's got a short option in Zach Sturge. Next instead to maybe go a little bit longer to Harvey Vale. So back to his fullback. Dylan Williams is down in a heap here. It looked a bit of an innocuous one, really, didn't it? But
well, it's definitely a foul. Hinchy definitely went through him there, and you can see the referee having a bit of a chat with him there, but I don't think it was malicious. It's certainly overzealous and had a lot of pace in the challenge, but I'm surprised Williams has been caught as badly as it looks as though he has.
It's one of those where you see sort of 5 or 6 a game, don't you, where the fullback knocks it, tries to run round him, and he just kind of gets blocked off, sort of bodied, doesn't he? But
unless there was like maybe knee-to-knee contact, which we couldn't see from the initial challenge, because it looks as though it's his left knee that they're flexing there, and bit of a dead leg just above the knee.
Chance for Chelsea to regroup a little bit though, and 6 minutes into this second half, still a goal down. Andy Moran with the only goal of the game, on the brink of half-time. Looks like Williams is going to be okay. I mean, Chelsea have got options on the bench should they need them. None really in a straight swap sort of berth, but I've seen Billy G play at centre-half for the 18s fairly recently. Zach Sturge could obviously go out there. Brian Fiabema's more of an attacking change. Donnell McNeely at centre-forward, and Jimmy Turianen as well could also do a job, but thankfully it looks like he's going to be okay to carry on. Sturge slides one up towards Mason Burstow. Unfortunately can't be reeled in by the Chelsea number 9. Here's Shushane. Packham. Hinshelwood into Pepion. Back to Hinshelwood. Lovely interchange between the 10 and the 7. Always an ambitious attempt there. It looked like Barrington had gone for the old Gianfranco Zola against Norwich with the like mid-air Cruyff flick almost. It was a ambitious effort, but thankfully Chelsea blocked it, and then he lashes over the rebound. Yeah, well, I think the best 3 forward players for Brighton linked up really, really well there. Again, Hinshelwood involved on the right-hand side. Pepion gets a great ball to the near post, and Barrington, who's been playing wide left, gets himself across the near post. Again, a great run. As you say, tries a Gianfranco Zola flick, doesn't work, but it was a good move from Brighton. As I said, their best 3 forwards probably involved. Great ball. Lovely switch of play from Charlie Rose. Makes it effortless, doesn't he? Unfortunately, Brody Hughes has had that nipped off him, though. Now Brighton can attack. It's a lovely cross. Has he not scored? It's a free header from Pepion. He should score, can Pepion? Well, that's a get out of jail free card. I mean, that's a fantastic ball hit to the far post. Pepion there. He jumps very early. Looks like he's got a good shape on him, but for some reason doesn't make contact with his forehead, and it slides off it and sort of goes past that near post. Very poor header. Ben Elliott does so well there. Real tussle between him and Hinshelwood, and he does superbly then to release Mason Burstow. Castledine with the underlapping run. He's got a little bit of space now. He's got McConville for support, though. Back into Burstow. He was out of danger. Now Chelsea with a little bit of time and space. Ben Elliott, who started the move, back involved again. Wants to get the shot off, and does Ben Elliott. Into the gloves of Cahill. It's a good strike, though. Again, starts the move off Ben Elliott and then joins the attack. Yeah, again, that's the athlete he is. It's a great ball in the first place. Great technical ability to see the pass. Burstow holds it up. Little bit of play with Castledine. Comes back out to Ben Elliott. It's a good strike. And as I said, I think last week, I'm never going to complain about guys having a strike. I have more complaints about them not having a strike. So he hits the target, makes the goalkeeper make a save. Sturge does well to ride the tackle there of Moran. Pepion as well, but he's nipped the ball off him, and now Moran could be in. 3-on-3 for Chelsea against Brighton. It's Moran. What a finish that is. Andy Moran has his second, Brighton have their second, and Chelsea find themselves with a mountain to climb.
Well, this is just a fantastic finish. I mean, he literally pings it into the top bin. There's absolutely no chance Lean has got there. And the problem came from the left-hand side. Sturge has looked up, and you can see he's complaining there. He's looking for options. He's looking for someone to make a run down the channel. That doesn't happen. So he hesitates on the ball. Brighton, we've seen already in this game that they close people down quickly. They don't give you time. And once he hasn't played the ball, he loses possession. But that's still a great... He's still got plenty to do there, Moran, on the edge of the box. Pings a great ball into the top corner. And as I said, keeper no chance. And Chelsea is a real uphill battle now.
It's a brilliant finish from Andy Moran. Clutching a little bit, but some similarities between that and the Enciso goal for the first team here at Stamford Bridge a little while ago, actually, where from distance he's ripped it into the top corner. The goalkeeper's got no chance for that one. So Chelsea have got it all to do now if they want to ensure a second place finish is in their hands. They've got time to do it though. So they do have to try and find a way back into this game, as Andy Moran's double means that Brighton are 2 up here at Kingsmeadow. Now, Mason Burstow looking to get Chelsea involved quickly. Pass from Webster just evades Ben Elliott. Here's the goal scorer Moran, and now gap's opening up a little bit because Barrington could be in. He's got Hinshelwood square, he gives it to Hinshelwood, and Brighton have got a third. Incisive, clinical breakaway from Brighton and Hove Albion. And Jack Hinshelwood, who's been involved in everything good that Brighton have done this evening, has his reward by putting his name on the score sheet.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a great goal. I mean, they take possession off of Chelsea in their half. I mean, it's free passes, and they clinically finish it in the back of our net. And we've seen them do that at first team level as well. They do it a lot, and as I said, they squeeze high, they create pressure on the ball, and when they steal it, they basically break at pace. And Jack Hinshelwood there's a simple finish into the far corner, and 3-0. I have to say, doesn't really reflect the game, but I had the same conversation with you on Monday night when we found ourselves 3-0 down, when Chelsea were slightly the better side. So you've got to stop giving silly goals away.
Certainly similarities now starting to show their face from Monday night. And as we said at half-time, we didn't want to be in this situation where Chelsea have got to come from 3 down, but here we are. So time still very much on Chelsea's side to get back into this game, but now 3 goals down now, so it's quite a big ask. And if you look back, it's the 3rd game in succession that Chelsea have conceded 3 goals, and they're staring straight down the barrel of a 4th defeat on the bounce in PL2.
Yeah, no one's going to be more disappointed than Mark Robinson at that fact. And but if you know, I'm sure they do. You analyse the goals. There've been so many sloppy goals that you could have easily stopped had you done the right things. And you know, we keep making the point. This is a learning process. The PL2 is basically a learning league. It's kids that are coming through, trying to go up the ladder. And as I said, this group, a lot of them will be playing on loan next year in the league at whatever level. But them silly mistakes are haunting Chelsea, and when they do make them, they're being punished. You know, Brighton have made a couple of mistakes, but Chelsea haven't got the other end of them and stuck them in the back of the net. It seems every mistake is being punished with a goal.
Obviously, Brighton have still got another game to play after this, so they could actually finish the season in touching distance of Chelsea, but they'll take them to 39 points tonight, another 3 in their final game against Fulham, who are directly above them, or as a result of this fixture, they'll be below them a place, and they'll have finished on 42 points if they win both of their remaining games, which will be just a point behind Chelsea, which gap could look very different if Chelsea can overturn this one, and it's certainly a different pre-game, but in the situation we are. And now Chouchane, lovely play from Sami Chouchane, and now Cam Pepillon. Brighton come forward again, it's a deep cross towards the far post. Brodie Hughes does really well, because Jack Hinshelwood looked like he was heading goalwards.
Yeah, again, the football's fantastic. The confidence on the ball is great. The pace of the attack is great. And as I said, Jack Hinshelwood climbs at the far post, and Brodie Hughes just gets his body in the way there, because that's heading towards the target.
Corner to be taken just short of the hour mark here at Kingsmeadow, and it's Luca Barrington who's going to trot across to take the corner, but understandably so, not in too much of a rush. In swing up, plenty of players back from the back. It's a good header from Charlie Webster. Looks like may have a slight head injury here as well, so momentary pause in play.
Kavanagh, I think, got a whack from the set piece there, but he seems okay.
Still no changes from either team. As we mentioned at half-time, options for Chelsea on the bench in Jimmy Torreinen and Daniel McNeely, Brian Fiabema, Billy G. Max Merrick as well, the fifth Chelsea substitute this evening. Tenacity from Leo Castledine to give the ball up now. Webster stuns the ball over to Dion Rankin. Mason Burstow's made his way towards the far post. If Dion Rankin can try and get something across, but he's been bodied out by two Brighton defenders. Samuels comes across and does really well.
Yeah, and then there's his left winger Barrington coming back and helping him as well. So 2v1 against Rankin there, and they outnumbered him, and obviously again get their rewards. And you can say they've been lucky, but I have to say they've also worked hard as a unit. They've doubled up on defending, and you see the winger coming back and helping his left back there.
Chelsea regain possession. Now Williams tried to find Webster, but it's intercepted by Packham, and now thankfully Gilchrist stops Moran. Lovely turn from Leo Castledine. That's the bit of brilliance you're looking for, that little bit of magic. Beautiful turn from Leo Castledine, and now a free kick in a very dangerous position.
And little things like that can get you back in the game. Again, it's a great turn. I mean, he gets in between two defenders, gets his body in the way, definite contact. The referee had a great view, literally a couple of yards behind it. And the little incidences like that, you heard the crowd sort of come back into the game there, because they've been a bit quiet since that third goal went in. So let's hope we can hit the target and maybe get a goal back here.
I mentioned it in the first half, but this is almost identical to where Leo Castledine scored in the UEFA Youth League against Dinamo Zagreb quite a while ago, but I think literally to the metre, maybe 2 or 3 to the left. But you've got Harvey Vale, who's obviously another option, and Charlie Webster, who's actually leaving this one. He's stood over towards the left-hand side, but plenty of options for Chelsea.
Well, we saw Harvey Vale in the first half, slightly closer than this, and couldn't get it up and over the wall. So let's hope there's a little bit further out, which might help him.
It'll be Castledine into the wall. Maybe an arm was up there, but no one else appealing, so maybe that's me just hoping a little bit more than the evidence that's on show. But here's Charlie Webster. Chance not over for Chelsea, although a bit of a nudge out of play there. It's a shame, really, because it's good outing, but it's a tall wall and it did its job.
Yeah, it stood firm. And yeah, then from the rebound, McConville come out and smashed the next challenge. So yeah, 3-0 up there, not sitting on their laurels, Brighton. They want to see this game out and maybe even get a fourth or a fifth and really humiliate the boys in blue.
Here's Samuels. Barrington. Chops inside. Moves it to Shushain. He's got Packham on the overlap, uses Sam Packham. And Moran is peeled off to this right-hand side. Back to Packham. Driven ball. It's a good save from Salina and eventually up and away from Dion Rankin. Mason Burstow does really well there. Ben Elliott rolls the ball to Dylan Williams. Now can Chelsea find something? A little bit of a counter-attack going. He's got Harvey Vale on the outside if he can find him. Uses Harvey Vale. Castledine, Williams and Burstow in the box. It'll be a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, it does great there, Williams. I mean, the defenders fell over here looking for a free kick, but it's a corner to Chelsea. Great link play on the left-hand side. Val and Williams have linked up really well. There haven't been many successful sort of units up here, but I think that unit on the left-hand side in Williams and Val have done very well in the game.
Charlie Webster just bouncing the ball in the triangle to signify perhaps what's going on. Jimmy Turianen's been called back to the bench. Looks like his involvement is imminent. Short to Vale. Now Elliott. Flick round the corner, it's found Charlie Webster. Lovely little routine from Chelsea there. Beautiful back heel from Ben Elliott, caught everyone unaware.
Yeah, I think that was improvised. I think the initial ball to him was he had his back to goal, but as you said, great back heel and maybe a little short corner here, or no.
I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Charlie Webster going to towards the players all at the far post at the moment, and it is a deep one. That's McConville again. conceded a throw-in on that occasion, though. Brody Hughes. Elliott and Castledine just dancing around trying to make an angle. Finds Leo Castledine. It's Hinchy with the piece of defending, and Samuels can loop it forward. So Chelsea's attacking players to make an impact, although maybe it'll be time for the first change of the evening as well. It will be Ben Elliott to be replaced by Jimmy Turianen. See if that means any changes for any system. Probably not. You'd imagine Jimmy Turianen's just a slot in where Ben Elliott was. Perhaps new idea in the middle of the park now. I think Ben Elliott's had a good run out for 66 minutes as well. And like we mentioned every time we seem to mention his name, he's technically brilliant, but again, energy and always gives everything.
Yeah, I mean, he gives you exactly that. I mean, he's up and down. We saw him play a ball early in the second half over the top, and he ended up getting on the end of it and having a strike at goal, which unfortunately led to their third goal, but because the goalkeeper saved it and wheeled it out. But no, he's had a decent game. I mean, unfortunately in there at the moment, Brighton have got their tails up and they're wagging them, and unfortunately getting a lot of the ball and looking very comfortable.
Clock always seems to go a little bit quicker,
doesn't it, just
when you're needing it not to. Doesn't feel like it's been 10 minutes since Brighton have had their third, but so it has, and now we're into the final 25 here at Kings Meadow, so still time to do something, but before you know it, that will be 15. Charlie Webster really trying to play a part. He's taking it over the top and winning second headers, and this is where Chelsea needs something though. Slonina forward towards Mason Burstow, who's able to pick it up and slide it into Turianen's first touch of the ball since coming on as a substitute. Now Harvey Vale into Brody Hughes. Cannon's back off him. Well defended by Shushain in there. Now Webster. Foul on in by Hinshelwood.
Yeah, Harvey Vale's gone down that left-hand side, and just before that, Brody Hughes has made an underlap, and he's had a touch as the ball's come to him. I think he's got to whip that across first time. Then once he has the touch, it gives the defender a chance to get back, and which he did, and he blocked the cross.
Turianen, another physical presence now in the box for Chelsea, as is Burstow, and Hughes is up, and Alfie Gilchrist a little word with his two set-piece takers, and now trotting into the box himself. The in-swinger of Vale, or the out-swinger of Webster. Charlie Webster.
Oh, great ball.
Found Mason Burstow.
Could do no more than that. I mean, that's a fantastic ball. Great pace, great height, in the right area. And Burstow climbs, but just he can't get above it, and he just steers it, but steers it wide of the far stick.
And Packham charged down by Charlie Webster, though. Just saying to his teammates as he turned around to increase the tempo a little bit and keep that work rate up. First change of the evening though for Brighton and Hove Albion. It'll be Luca Barrington, who's going to be replaced by Josh Duffus. He's had a good evening's work as Luca Barrington, hasn't he, Tommy?
Yeah. No, he's linked up really well. I think the front three, the mobility has been very good. And to be honest with you, apart from Moran's second goal was brilliant, but I think the other three have outshone him as regards their ability to get on the ball. And the right winger has been superb. Perpion, Jack Hinshelwood's had a great influence in the game, and I thought Barrington did very well.
Marco Mahoney as well, coming on for Jack Hinchy. Double change for Brighton, 20 minutes to play here at Kingsmeadow. They are 3 goals up. Alex Moran on the brink of half-time to give Brighton a slender lead at the half, and then 2 quick-fire goals in 55 and 56, first from Moran again, and then Jack Hinshelwood getting involved. They've taken this game very much into their hands and slowly starting to ebb away from Chelsea a little bit, because, as we keep mentioning, 20 minutes to play and the need to find something to prevent a disappointing end to the season for Chelsea in the PL2. But it's a lovely ball over the top to Cam Perpignan. It's a wonderful tackle though from Zach Sturge, who'll concede the corner, which I think is probably the lesser of 2 evils there, Tommy.
Yeah, well, Sturge is looking around. He feels he's played it off Perpignan's legs here, and it should have been a goal kick. But it was a good race, both of them showing great pace over the top. But by the way, they've just brought a substitute on O'Mahony, who looks bigger than the centre half, McConville. So they'll be, from set pieces, they'll be a massive threat now.
It's the first time to test that out. Duffus is another physical presence as well. Corner's whipped in, bounced all the way through. Chelsea get rid, but only as far as Shushain loops it back in. It's lashed out by Turianen. Asking Dion Rankin to chase it. If you want anyone chasing it, will be Dion Rankin, but Samuels was always the favourite to recover that ball.
And again, his touch under pressure was superb.
There's Duffus, only just come on. Now Moran, who's on a hat-trick. Shushain chops back. Tries to find a teammate. You can see the idea, but it's going for a throw-in. Brody Hughes with a throw-in. From McConville. Asking quite a lot of Leo Castledine to hit McConville in the air, though, aren't you?
There's only one favourite when you throw it up and loop it up like that. McConville, as aggressive as he is as well.
Sturge. Now Williams. Chelsea perhaps changed it a little bit. Maybe they've gone to more of a 4 at the back.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, Dion Rankin, sorry, I made the point earlier. Harvey Vale's gone on the left. Dion Rankin's come out on the right-hand side. So Williams and Brody Hughes and Gilchrist are in there. And Sturge has gone in there as well. So you see Williams is playing more as an orthodox left back now.
Turianen. Chelsea moving quickly. Williams is forced to check back though to Zach Sturge. Now Alfie Gilchrist. There goes Harvey Vale. That left foot of his a danger when he can check back in and create an angle with that left foot. Now Dylan Williams and Rankin. They do likewise from this left-hand side. It's an in-swinger towards the far post, a free header for Leo Castledine. Chelsea are back in it. Leo Castledine with a goal. Brilliant play from Dion Rankin to chop back in field and loop one up towards the far post. Leo Castledine hunting, finds an angle, nods it past the goalkeeper, who thinks that it should be a flag up, but I think he should be more looking at the fact that Castledine drifted in completely unnoticed and heads Chelsea maybe back into the game, Tommy.
Well, I think the complaint could be Harvey Vale might have been in an offside position, but he didn't go near it. It went over his head, and Castledine comes in at the far post. It's a great finish, and all of a sudden Chelsea back in it. It was a great ball in from Rankin. Great vision to see that sort of space at the far stick. Just put it into an area and let it be attacked. Castledine attacked it, and again, Chelsea back in his game.
Just over 15 minutes to play, plus whatever the officials decide to add on this evening for Chelsea to find something. We saw a reaction Monday night at Stevenage for Chelsea to come back from 3 and just fell short. It's Tottenham Hotspur in a neatly contested London derby. Well, now they're on home soil. Got to try and find the characters similar, but go 1 better, or 2 better ideally, than they did on Monday night. Here's Dylan Williams. Trying to jink in and out, but well, defended by Packham and then Kavanagh. Looped forward. Dealt with by Gilchrist. Now Brody Hughes. Castledine causing problems, and now Vale tries to prod it into Leo Castledine, doesn't he? It's gone out for a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, again, there's a little bit more pace, a little bit more belief just come in since that goal. And unfortunately, the pass from Harvey Vale just under hit. Defender got back, but we still get a set piece.
Official just wanting that, made sure it's in the triangle. Williams and Rankin on the edge of the box. It might eventually pop out to one. It does pop out to Dylan Williams, back to Dion Rankin. So another assist to add to his tally for the season. There's Brody Hughes. Far away from his starting right back berth at the moment, but Turianen back to Charlie Webster. For a second he was going to let fly, but instead he gives it out to Harvey Vale. Going to chop inside. Harvey Vale's going to shoot.
Look, the execution was poor from Harvey Vale, and he'll be disappointed, but it was a good move from Chelsea. Again, good passing, probing and around, fell into him on the right-hand side. You know he's going to cut in on his left all the time, and there was only one intent from the minute he got the ball. Unfortunately, as I said earlier, the execution was poor.
14 minutes plus whatever the officials decide to add on at the end of it left to play here at Kingsmeadow. Chelsea's final PL2 game of the season. They're back in it thanks to Leo Castledine. The man is shot there, his header a few moments ago. They've left themselves a lot of work to do, but all of a sudden momentum has changed wildly, and Brighton, who looked comfortable 10 minutes ago, now look a little bit more rattled. But Duffus and Mahoney, the two substitutes, are getting involved now. Here is Duffus. McConville back to Duffus. A little bit of space on this left-hand side now for the substitute. Field to Moran. Back to Shushain. Going to clip one over the top. It's a lovely ball. And it's a really, really good goal.
What a ball that is.
O'Mahony has the goal. Brighton restore their 3-goal advantage. What a pass this is from Sami Shushain.
It doesn't get much better than this at any level, and he has absolutely nothing on here, but he just flicks a delightful ball over the defender's head. I mean, literally it's a sand wedge, and the striker's just come on. He spins really well, to be fair, because it's over his shoulder and it's a very hard technique, but gets enough on it to beat the goalkeeper. But it was made by a wondrous ball.
It's a really, really good goal from Brighton and Hove Albion, who have put together some wonderful passages of play this evening and have been ever worthy of their advantage here at Kingsmeadow, unfortunately, from a Chelsea perspective. But Chelsea now find themselves in the same position they were a few moments ago before Leo Castledine headed them back into the game, and 3 goals down and needing something.
Yeah, I think the spark was lit and it's just been dampened down, hasn't it? You know, that's. But look, you know, when you concede goals that you shouldn't concede, you know, you look at. Robbo will be looking at that, but that was a moment of sheer brilliance. And when you're getting beat by things like that, you just got to hold your hands up and say, listen, well done, son.
It's a proper cliche that I really dislike hearing, but it is one of those that if Lionel Messi plays that pass for Barcelona or PSG, or Kevin De Bruyne plays it for Manchester City, you're talking about it forever and how it's wondrous. So you're absolutely right. Sometimes you just got to stand back and salute what is a wonderful pass from Sami Shushain and a good finish from Mark O'Mahony, who's only been on the pitch 10 minutes or so, so good impact from the substitute.
You know, when you look at things like that, you know, there was very limited options. There was no real space in behind. So to actually see it, the improvisation of it, and then the execution of the pass, the things combined, it's wondrous. I mean, I don't like to see any goals scored against Chelsea, but sometimes you hold your hands up and marvel at it.
Absolutely, a third change of the evening for Brighton and Hove Albion. Cam Perpignon's evening is over, and Jamie Mullins comes on to replace him. Cam Perpignan, who's had again another prosperous evening for Brighton and Hove Albion, part of that front 3 and front 4 that have linked up really well, and he's made a real impact.
Been very impressive. Yeah, he's gone one-on-one with Williams, and certainly in the first half got the better at that battle, and yeah, he's got pace, and we saw him go over the top just now, one-on-one with Sturgeon. It was a good battle, and again, he showed his qualities there.
Look, the ball towards Duffus and Samuels, but Jimmy Turianen can step across and concede the throw in. 10 minutes to play here at Kings Meadow. Two glum faces in the crowd. Castledine a little bit overzealous with the tackle and going to the referee's book for that.
Yeah, it's on Jack Inshaw as well. He's always chasing, and I think this will be another yellow card here, but he's always chasing and chasing from behind. And Jack Inshaw just towed the ball away from him as he's making the challenge, which made it look worse.
Set piece to be taken on the far side then for Imari Samuels, who's stood over it.
I have to also add, Jack's granddad made a living out of making tackles like that.
He'll applaud the way that Jack got straight back up on his feet though, and certainly opportunity there for Shushain himself. But yeah, he's been very impressive tonight as Jack Hinshelwood, the number 10 for Brighton. You mentioned before knowing the family ties, Tommy, but he's certainly sounds like another one off the rank then from the family, the way that they produce good footballers.
Well, he's been on the bench for the first team a few times, but not actually got on. So, you know, I think that's the next stage of his career. But you can see he's got something about him. He reminds me of our boy Castledine in that something they can change a game and do something that's out of the ordinary, and very comfortable on the ball. So, you know, the family are good friends of mine. So hopefully he's got a good future in the game.
We're back to Cahill, who's lumped the ball forward towards Duffus, who concedes the foul. Chelsea now very much against the clock. 8 minutes plus whatever the officials decide to add on to find something from this game as Chelsea make another change, and it'll be Brian Fiabema and Daniel McNeely coming on. It'll be Harvey Vale who's the first change. Mason Burstow as well for Daniel McNeely, who's interestingly going to make his first PL2 appearance this evening, which is very deserving of a player that's played very, very well in the younger age groups and deserves this opportunity. Signed his first pro contract fairly recently, and 10 goals in the under-18 Premier League so far this season, 13 starts. So certainly a player that knows where the back of the net is. He's got 7 or 8 minutes to maybe impress one or two and show that this time next season we'll be talking about him as the man wearing the number 9 shirt.
Well, that goal-scoring ratio is one to be very proud of. I mean, you don't often get ratios like that, but yeah, obviously the fact that he can stick the ball in the back of the net, which we prove at all levels, is crucial.
Certainly from a Chelsea fan's perspective as well, if you've got a goal scorer coming through the ranks, that's always going to be something that excites you, isn't it? Someone that's got that ability to be that focal point and very much able to play a little bit deeper than El McNeely as well, joining in the link-up play, and very, very talented footballer in not only his technical ability, but he reads the game and just seems to find those little pockets of space, and I suppose that's what makes a good goal scorer, finding where the ball's going to go and just being there at the right time.
Yeah, and a lot of that is instinct as well. As a goal scorer, you know, you've got to realise and see where the ball's going to fall, and that's not a natural phenomenon. That's actually sort of in you, and you've got, as I said, that instinct is there, and obviously the more you do it, you can practice it, and so you'll see things later on in life. But you've seen people like, you know, don't go back to the old Ian Rush and Lineker, not been great footballers, but when the ball bounced in the 6-yard box, they were on the end of it.
Change for Brighton, and Andy Moran won't get his hat-trick tonight. Benicio, Baker, Boatley will come on to replace him. Also that second change for Chelsea, and Brian Fiabema, I was just double-checking, he's not long been back actually. Quite a few appearances on loan this season when he spent a fair bit of time at Forest Green Rovers, and Chelsea delighted to have him back, a player again that's another one that's had league experience and like to see him now involved in the team going forward and see what's next for him, because he's playing commanded a lot of excitement when Chelsea signed him from Rosenborg a few years ago. Now, not too long, but 5 or 6 minutes to perhaps just remind 1 or 2 people what you're about. All over the top towards Villabema. Back to Castledine. Delivery's good. Rory McConville again.
Wow. Calm and collected defending there from McConville. Great chest control back to his goalkeeper. I have to say the ball in wasn't bad. It was into a great area, but again, no Chelsea striker making use of it.
Probably a few players that you could highlight as standout performer for Brighton this evening. Hinshelwood's in that conversation, certainly. Going to go hard push when a player scores twice to not be in the conversation, and Andy Moran, but Rory McConville at centre-half's been very impressive. Yeah,
I mean, Papillon, the right wing, has been good. You said Moran's got his 2 goals. I think Jack Hinshelwood's bossed the game, and Barrington, the other person who's been sub, played well, but certainly at the back, Kavanagh and McConville have been very, very combative. They're big, strong boys. But we saw early in the game, you made the point, 40, 50-yard balls, they can ping left to right. So they're actually very comfortable on the ball. And very much the same, the mould of maybe a Lewis Dunk. You know, a big, strong guy. You don't think he can play, but sure enough, he can.
Here is Castledine. For Gilchrist. Sam Packham had a real handful of Dion Rankin's shirt there, and I'm not sure how that's not been given, to be honest. I thought,
well, it's right in front of Robbo, and Dion's looking round at the assistant and the referee. How have you not seen that? But I think that probably just sums up the evening's work. Maybe we're clutching at straws, but
maybe a little bit, but you can absolutely see there that looked every bit a foul to me, but we play on. And to be honest with you, it's a thankless task being a referee, isn't it? So you can allow 1 or 2, although I'm not sure that Dion Rankin sees that similarly. Packham with a throw in short to Hinshelwood. Lovely flip ball into Clark of O'Mahony. Final 2 and a bit minutes to play here at Kingsmeadow of the PL2 campaign for Chelsea, which is going to finish in slightly disappointing fashion considering their league position and their overall output for the season. They will still be second at full time this evening, but Crystal Palace do have the opportunity to leapfrog Chelsea into second position. And
great finish.
Oh, it looked like it was destined for the top corner, didn't it, from Dion Rankin? Did everything right, but he did ripple the net, but unfortunately it was the roof of it. Yeah, just the top of the net, and he's done well in this second half, Dion Rankin, from the left-hand side. He's cut in with his right. Great ball for the Castledine header, which got us back in the game for about 30 seconds. But and after that, he's cutting on his right, had a strike, just unfortunately at the top of the net. Unfortunately so. Chelsea still with 2 minutes to play here at Kingsmeadow. Well, a bit anyway for Cahill, who's going to no rush to get us back on the way for the final few moments of play. Turianen with a header, and Gilchrist. Now Dylan Williams. Bema tries to flick it into the path of Charlie Webster. Sturge. Williams lets it run to Rankin. Williams tried to prod it back to his central defender partner, but couldn't find him on that occasion. Bema loops into the sky, looking towards Castledine. It finds Castledine.
Oh, he's got a whack in the head here.
Immediate stop because it's a bit of a coming together between Leo Castledine and Josh Duffus. final few moments here then. Tommy, just a little break in play while hopefully Josh Duffus is okay. Hopefully he's okay to continue. We've got 5 additional minutes and we won't have started those just yet, but mind you, we had 5 on Monday and we played 4 and the referee blew up.
He
So.
decided he's had enough to ref at 4 minutes.
Stevenage is a nightmare to get home from, to be fair, so... yeah, opportunity then for perhaps 1 or 2 over the summer to see what their kind of their futures of this football club contain. You know, there's an opportunity for perhaps 1 or 2 to get some minutes on pre-season duty, and whoever the new manager is that comes in will have an opportunity to assess them all. But a lot of them, like we mentioned at the start of the game, you know, they're a young squad, they're a young group, and this will be a team that majority, as you mentioned, could be playing their football elsewhere on loan next season. But if they are still a group, this will be a team that will hopefully be in a position like they are now, hopefully 5 or 6 points closer to the top, if not top of the table, and competing on a number of different fronts next season.
Absolutely, Joe, spot on. And look, you know, the older boys in this young group will be going on and plying their trade still as Chelsea players, but on loan at different clubs. And as I said earlier, that will do them the world of good, because it's all about a learning process and going up the ladder and seeing where you actually land in the general scheme of football clubs and where they are. But looking at this tonight, I mean, it's a learning process for Robbo as well, and he's learning about his players, he's learning about their reactions to being goals down. What I would say is he's going to be so disappointed. 5 games trying to get 1 point. And you talk about, you know, being competitive. He wanted to win this league. He wanted to compete with Manchester City, and that hasn't happened. And this last sort of 5 games will disappoint him more than anything.
That might be the last we see of Josh Duffus this evening. It seems no point to risk it with only a few moments to go. Pretty much the game wrapped up in his team's favour. He's taken a bit of a knock. You'd hope that he's either okay to return, but looked like he was trying to take the chip out of the back of his shirt there that monitors the player's output, and maybe not, maybe he's going to return. But switch of play is back on, thankfully, so he is okay. Just over 1,000 in attendance here at Kingsmeadow tonight. I mentioned at the start of the evening when the sun was out and bank holiday weekend vibes were going, but unfortunately it's a little bit different now as Brighton just squeeze the clock out a little bit more. They've done their hard work, Tommy, haven't they?
They have, yeah, and I think they've managed the game very well since that sort of 3rd goal winning. I know Chelsea got a bit of respite with the header from Castledean, which sort of we felt might get us back into the game. But since then, they've handled it really well, and as I said, game management's been superb.
Throw from Packham. And Mahoney tried to bring it down and did well to chest it, but slipped, and referee seen something which had gone out of play.
Stretch it again. Go on, Jay, go on, come off, go on.
I'm going to reload again. Actually, I'll go again towards Marco Mahoney.
Yeah, Mahoney's making his presence felt down in his left-hand side. You can see he's a big boy, and right in front of the assistant, and just backing into the defender. I don't think he's doing a lot wrong by backing into him.
Smart play though towards Samuels. To McConville. Cahill. Could be another chance on here for a second there that Mullins was going to bring that down. He's done so well though to keep hold of the ball. This is out on a shoulder to shoulder, but Torianen can try and skip through.
He's been booked, hasn't he? Is this Kavanagh?
I think it was Packham, I think, but he ran away fairly quickly, so he
No, I think you're right, because if it was Kavanagh, he'd be running the opposite way into the dressing room. So, good shout, Joe, well done.
Yeah, Sam Packham goes into the book. We won't have too much longer here at Kingsmeadow. Wood goes into the book as well for kicking the ball away. Which I don't think will put a dampener on the performance for either of the boys. Here's Zach Sturge. He'll be feeling this one. Williams gives the ball away to Mullins. Now the break could be on. O'Mahony's rampaging forward. Mullins couldn't find him. It's a lovely little trick inside there from Baker Boatley, but it's not over yet. Here's Duffus. Good feet from Duffus. And back to McConville. He loses out though. McNeely does well, and then Castledine gives it to Webster. And now Williams. Fortunately, that is the final piece of action we're going to see at Kingsmeadow this season for this squad in the PL2. Curtain comes down on what was a good season and looked like it was headed for a tight race and perhaps pushing Manchester City right to the wire, but unfortunately the final few weeks it's unravelled a little bit, and this evening Chelsea go down in the final game of their PL2 campaign, lose by 4-1 here at Kingsmeadow. Tommy, your assessment of that, mate?
Yeah, disappointing, obviously. I mean, you want to see Chelsea win at all levels, and, you know, we did enough in the first half to compete. Conceded a goal just before half-time was very, very disappointing, put us on the back foot, and after that was chasing the game. Thought we started the second half quite well, quite brightly, with good pace, but obviously them 2 goals within a minute killed us, and although we huffed and we puffed, we never really got back in the game. But it's been a disappointing end to the season, but as I said, it's a learning curve for these boys, and they'll come back fit and well next year, having learnt from the campaign that has seen them at the moment in second place.
Absolutely, we talk about that, and you know that is the overarching thing that we always need to remember at this level. It's about development, it's about getting ready for that next step, and Chelsea certainly are always in that conversation to be in that next step. As you can see here, fortunately the table could look very different if Liverpool win their 2 games in hand and Crystal Palace also win their game in hand to complete the season. But Chelsea, well, they'll finish in the top 5 definitely, the top 4, and you'd hope that is a sign of things to come for the younger players in the squad. Again, we're talking about that Leo Castledine being a standout this evening at 17 years of age, and Danielle McNeely, who's coming on as well at 17 years of age. Slonina, the goalkeeper, at 18. There's a lot of players that have got a lot of potential and a long way to go in the game, and they certainly will go and hit those heady heights. And being at Chelsea, it's about meeting those standards, and they've done that for a large period of this season, but unfortunately it's just not gone the way they wanted to this season.
Yeah, they just dropped off it at a vital time. As I said, 1 point in 5 games isn't good enough to win a title, and they will realise that, and there'll be reasons for that. You know, is it the inexperience of not being in the battle before? Because, many years down the line, obviously, this is a regular occurrence. We're looking for titles, but there's 1 or 2 young kids in there that maybe haven't been on stages like this, and they've reacted the wrong way. As I said, be brave on the ball, but don't be silly on the ball. And when it's there to be played, play it. But just before the half there, we could have cleared it, didn't, and conceded the goal. So I think Robbo will analyse this, and he'll see the mistakes have been made in honesty. They've been trying to do the right things, but as I said, they'll learn through the experience. And you're not only just trying to build players here, you're trying to build character, you're trying to build real people, and they'll go out and enjoy the 6 weeks they got off or whatever it is now, analyse what they're doing, and then come back pre-season, end of June, and go, right, let's kick on again and show what we can really do.
Talk about being more than just a footballer, especially when you're playing for this football club, and seeing now the players that are going to sign autographs and have selfies with people that have come out to watch them on a Friday night in Kingston. It's about building that, isn't it? It's about building that community as well, and it's more than just what you do in the 90 minutes on the pitch about being a footballer for this football club. This
football club is a community. It's a life for me. It's a love. It's a life that I've always been a part of. And even here at the weekend, 28,000 people were here to watch Chelsea ladies battle against Barcelona, and this club breeds success. Not too much of it this year, but we're used to success. We've been spoilt, but you can still see the fans turning up on a Friday night, on a bank holiday weekend, supporting the club, because it's what we do as Chelsea fans.
Absolutely right. It is what we do. It's what we're about, and this club will no doubt have some fantastic times ahead again, and we're part of it, whether it's brilliant at the time or it's not so brilliant. That's what being a a football fan is about, and as you mentioned, it's about more than just that, being a Chelsea fan. You're part of a community, you're part of a family, and again, with a lot of these players as well, and you see that sort of love and adoration that Mark Robinson sort of gives to his players, and the trust as well, and one or two of these players will no doubt go on to maybe something a little bit different next year, whether it be a loan, whether it be part of the first team, but that's all part of that development. And when you've got someone like Mark Robinson, a man that absolutely lives and breathes Chelsea and heads and kicks every ball, you know you're in safe hands.
Yeah, it's hurting me and you, and as I said, trust me, it's hurting Robbo a lot more than it is us. He thrives on players coming through and good habits and teaching them the right ways of, as I said, not just on a football pitch, of life off the pitch. And he's a great man. He's a Chelsea man through and through. And losing 4 games in 5 is not going to be something he wants to end the season on. But unfortunately, it's happened. He'll pick himself up, he'll take it on the chin, and he'll come back in a nice positive vein next year. As I said, coaching a new group of players, or maybe some of these again.
Absolutely right. Still plenty to come, of course, over the next few days here at Chelsea Football Club Monday morning. Nice early start for Frank Lampard as he addresses the press ahead of a massive one Tuesday evening, Matchday Live. Chelsea go to well, thankfully they're not going to win the title, Arsenal. I was going to throw in a little additional comment there, Tommy, but to be honest with you, I don't think we're in much position to do that at the moment. So let's just hope we beat them on Tuesday night.
That's right, let's keep stum at the moment, because I don't think we can say anything.
Absolutely right. Tommy, thanks a lot for your company this evening, mate, in the last few games. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolute pleasure.
Unfortunately, it's not been the result or the close that Chelsea wanted or deserved for this PL2 campaign. We'll be back again next season, of course. Thank you very much for watching this evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.